Well, that means almost part 3 now, isn't it? Take 2,
I
part
think
3.
we will have to. Yeah.
See, I'm not
Do
an
I
expert
apologise?
we're not experts when it comes to the editing process. So it generally tends to be, that's what recorded, that's what goes on.
That's it. Yeah, keep it all in.
Trim the beginning and the end and make sure they're in time, but the rest of it is what it is. This is not one for highlights. It's this is the
It's
real
all a
thing.
highlight.
It works for me, mate. I love doing all this kind of stuff.
So are we back recording now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that I know we're back recording, cheers for that, John. Right. Well, I'm going to call it a day because I'm off oot in a boot. But Pugs,
Where are you going?
Absolute pleasure. Well, I'm going out a little bit of gallivanting.
You're going line dancing, aren't you, Jake?
Oh, yeah, can't be a bit like that.
On a Monday?
I have a sneaking suspicion. It's going to support the mother.
You can't beat a bit of student night if you know what I mean. I don't quite look like one, but I just sit outside with my dog and look homeless and they throw money at me. But anyway,
the free drinks he gets is unreal.
Oh, it's amazing! It's amazing.
That's slightly rapey, but okay.
that is Jake for you. I'm saying no more.
But anyway, yes, it has been a pleasure.
Here, you need to put that as your little bio, Jake.
Jake makes
slightly rapey.
Thank you very You go and get your rape on. It's all good.
That's it. I'm gonna go get my vape on. Right.
I meant vape. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. Catch you later.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, brilliant. So what would you say was? Oh, hang on, we'll change the screens now.
Oh wow, I've split into 2.
That's it. We've got one screen for your head, one screen for everything else. Right, where are we? We've got to be. There we go.
Oh,
we'll get rid of it all together, and then that'll make. There we go. Makes a little bit more sense, but I can shrink you down a little bit as well.
See, I other people deal with obs. I don't deal with it, so I'm glad about that.
It's the joy that I have. It's why I got the nickname One Job John, because I basically do all the technical stuff in the background, and Jake sits there. So, the amount of times the live has ended, or this has gone wrong, or that's gone wrong, I pressed the wrong button, and da. No, you only got one job, John, and it was it came about from that. So, yeah, it's one of those things you just got to embrace it.
I have got obs. No, thank you. I just want to turn up to your show, get drunk, and have a laugh.
Well, that's the thing, as I say, and that's the one thing I love about the live show and the way that we do particularly the way that in fact both me and Jake do our reviews in that way. We'll go on and we'll do the review, and it is what it is. And I'm just not clued in enough yet to do really fancy stuff with editing and that sort of stuff. And I know it might be a bit more appealing, but we'll always have that. We cock up and it happens. That's life. You just get on with it.
That makes it more interesting usually. I mean, we used to have we had a show before I was doing Simon's show. We had the show that ran alongside our forum, which was the Vaping Community Show, which was essentially a mixing show. So that's a whole different subculture.
Oh yeah,
probably one that you wouldn't even have heard of. So, but it was always, there's a couple of people in there that did obs, and I didn't really do it. But the fact that I had to do the thumbnail and something else, it was a job. Yeah. So now I'll turn up when you want me, and I'll drink and just be a dick.
Hit the call button and sit back and enjoy yourself. But have you heard of Dripper Labs?
Oh, no. Dripper Labs.
Dripper Labs. So the guys have been around for a couple of years, and they do basically 30mm short fills, but their website is completely...
Is that pure concentrate?
Say again?
Is that pure concentrate?
No. These are mix ready, and you get your nick shot with it. Basically, what we do is you go onto their website, and they have all of the flavors, and they have a mixer bar with a percentage, and then like a green, amber, red kind of recommendation on levels. Right, okay. So you can go in and choose between all these different flavors and make a mix.
Didn't these have machines in shops?
Not them. I think somebody else did something.
Something else that did something.
Yeah, because
like
there was another place that did it. Lindsay, one of our viewers, was saying,
customize your own liquid.
Yeah,
like on site.
Yeah, and that's what they do. And we had a go. I did a couple of liquids, and I was really impressed with how my liquids came out, given my level of. I know what I like, but when it comes to percentages, admittedly, I had the guy from the company actually talking me through it and saying, like you'll know yourself that this flavor will complement this flavor. So if you add a little bit more of this, it's going to bring this one out more. But actually, it was a really, really good insight into, all the flavors that are available, how it all kind of works.
Well. I mean, here's the thing. When I first started mixing, about 7 years ago, and at that time. There was, when I say there was a fraction of the flavors available, I'm not even slightly exaggerating. It was a tiny amount. And everyone used to use the same ones all the time. And it was you down to people like Capella, TPA, the usual Flavor Out, those kind of companies that had flavors out. You were limited to them, and it wasn't that many. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, from somebody who owns, co-owns an e-liquid calculator, there's fucking thousands. Thousands, and some exceptional ones as well. You've got Salubrone. There's the Vaping Train Australia. There's so many different flavor houses now. Wonder Flavors. Frank from Wonder Flavors, what a guy he is. They do some blinding flavors, but you can't keep up with it. You cannot keep up with it.
It's like everything when an industry gets big, you get.
Compared to my friends, I've not got that many.
Yeah.
I've got over 1,000 flavors there, easy, that I mix with.
Yeah.
And I'm getting sent them all the time. But you'll get sent, they'll do a new drop, and there's a lot of hype surrounding it. They're like, Wonder Flavors have just dropped another 16 flavors. Frank sent me 16 flavors to try out. I've not even tried the last 16 flavors yet.
How many can there be?
But I
suppose they're mixing the flavors a little bit, are they? So you're not just going to be getting an apple. You're not going to be getting a.
No, a lot of them are quite out there. You know what I mean? There was one called deep fried sugared taro, right? That's one of the flavors. It's just come out from one of the flavors. Taro is essentially like a potato.
Right.
So what you're talking about is a deep fried salted crisp. What are you even going to use that in?
I suppose
it's one of those flavors. You're like, it tastes nice as it is.
Do they do beef with it so you could have a little bit?
It genuinely tastes like a sugared crisp.
Yeah,
it's not a nasty thing. It's nice. What would you mix with it? I have no idea.
But that's it. As I say, it could be the foundation.
Sometimes they bring out these flavors just because they can.
Yeah, well, I suppose if that's what you've got to do, and it's like with everything, it keeps moving, and people get bored of the older, and then they want something newer.
You've got to appeal to more. The DIY community is not what it used to be. It used to be a lot bigger than it is now because there's cheaper ways. People don't have to go to. How to explain it? There are ways now where you don't necessarily have to go through the rigmarole of mixing a liquid. You can buy one shot and it will do the same thing. Yes.
Well, it's a great thing that it's still a possibility for people to do because it's like making coils. If it's your thing, if it's something that you really enjoy, it's something you're always going to do. And there's so many aspects to that in the industry, which again, it's another thing to love about it is there is so many sort of branches, so many different kind of niches around. I love seeing. I
don't know if this has changed for you, but all I can see is me now.
Yeah, I clicked on there to get rid of one of the windows that was sticking out there, and I thought, well, don't just leave it a big screen because then I'm going to have to look at myself. I always find it weird watching myself, kind of talking to myself. but yeah, it's I love Nick's tips. I think it's Nicky Hill.
I've heard of that.
He is so good with his stabwood resin. It is just beautiful. He does drip tips and he does Atty stands at the moment. Again, like so much of the industry, it's something that he does kind of part-time in the background because he loves it. We'll just go out.
Does he sell it?
Yeah, he does. He does like literally stabwood resin. So you've got stab wood and resin in the drip tip, which for something so small, like it'd be
It's a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, huge amount of effort, but absolutely beautiful pieces. I have. No, I didn't get any of the stab wood ones. We got some of his resin ones, and then we got a stab wood. He made us a stab wood atty stand that was stab wood down on one side, a light blue similar to our Vape Show blue on the other side, and he put a glow in the dark paint on the inside between the stab wood and the resin, so that it kind of glowed up at night. It was just beautiful.
I like that attention to detail.
Yeah.
Not dissimilar to what my next part. I mean, I showed you this, which is my first attempt at a resin atty stand.
Yes.
Which is, I love it. I'm really happy with it. But this was only ever a practice piece.
Yeah.
Because the next piece, I bought some, what do you call it? They call it spalted beech wood, right? This is live edge timber, but very thin. And I'm going to do a very tiny riverboard.
Yeah.
Resin riverboard. Underneath that is going to be LED lights that will come through the riverboard, which I've got Scott Wood, if you've never heard of him. Scott Wood's a fucking legend in the industry. He's going to do me the bass for it. And on top of that, there's going to be the 3 see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, skeletons, not monkeys, skeletons. Okay. The skeletons will have 510s on them, and the front of the board will have a display of probably 6 or 7 510s in, as a really ornate atty stand.
Yeah.
That's the next project. So I'm waiting for the molds to come from China. Probably going to be about another 3 weeks yet before they get here. I'm looking really forward to getting that. I got the spalted wood today, so I'm going to start doing the riverboard today.
Yeah.
Start fucking out with that. Resins are really,
I love it.
really
No, I mean it's such a beautiful finish. I mean it's like everything. You've got to know what you're doing with it, and it takes a lot of practice to get it right.
It does. I mean, to put it into context, just this block. When I got this out of the mold, it was just a block of resin. It took me 3 hours to sand this.
Yeah, to get that clear finish.
It's not just sanding. I think I had 18 different grades of sandpaper going up to 10,000 grit to get it to this finish.
Well, as I say, if you've got a lathe and it's doing the spinning work for you, that'll certainly speed up
I used a sander, but it still took me 3 hours.
Yeah, it is. I would say it's a phenomenal amount of work, and that was the thing. You know, it was £45 for the atty stand that we had, and you know it's an expensive piece, but when you look at it and the work that's gone into creating it,
that had taken in most of the day.
Oh yeah, and it's just they were absolutely beautiful things. And as I say, it's a shame because you know as the guess really as COVID kicked in and with everything that happened on the internet, we had so many different sort of channels that we wanted to explore and people that we wanted to work with and grow with, and so much of it's had to sit on the back seat for the while, and you know we've got 100% want to bring them back, you know, keep working with the people that we're working with, because again, another thing I love is there are so many talented individuals, you know, especially in this country, that make these things, and being able to support, you know, people that are manufacturing in this country, particularly at the moment, I think with everything the way that it is absolutely key. It's always, as I say,
you cannot beat handcrafted gear.
No,
you cannot. But the thing is, I wouldn't sell that for £100. I wouldn't. It took me a day to make that.
Yeah.
Why would I sell it for £100? I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's going to stay with me forever, and I'll keep it forever because I like it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You made it for yourself, and it's always going to have that.
You know, somebody would see that online and think, "I'm not spending £50 on that." Well, that took me about 9 hours.
Yeah.
So, fuck you.
If only you knew. Here's the video. It's on YouTube. Me making the entire thing. Yeah. What's it for 9 hours? Yeah. Then you'll see where the money goes.
And that's without the probably £40 of materials it took me to actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, as I say, you know, I mean, it's kind of the thing with some of the customization for the likes of the Burrow systems. You know, you say when they're handmade like that, and the effort that has really gone in to create these beautiful pieces. Love that.
Absolutely. You know, I'm all for customization. You cannot tell you what. Here's the thing. Here's your perfect vaping nirvana, right? Which is what I've already done it. If you can do it, it's a place where you really want to be with vaping, and that is a coil that you've made yourself, with a liquid that you've made yourself, on a build that you've put in yourself, I don't see how that gets any better. If you can
No.
customize vaping for you personally on every level,
Yeah.
that's the golden spot for you.
I think so. Yeah. No, I'd agree. It takes a long time and a lot of work.
It takes a long time to hone it.
Yeah, definitely, because it's. I mean, there is so much understanding. Like coils. I've only ever dabbled, and even just learning the process of building a coil, in a neat way. Let alone getting involved with the wires and the variations, and then it's just some of the coils that I see, and some of the ones that I'm vaping of. Just like I don't think I could ever produce something.
I've done some. I've done wide gauge aliens, which are I didn't know at the time are a lot harder to build than fine gauge aliens. I nailed aliens on a thick gauge wire, and I've done those. I've done like what do you call them? Clap. It's like wait, you got a clap pin around a coil. I can't clap set from the call it or something. I can't remember. I've done a few really quite complicated coils in the past. Liked it. Quite enjoyed it. Find it a bit of a chore now, to be honest, to rather just buy them from people.
Yeah, well, I think that's what I found with the coils. Is it's one of these things where you can produce it, but then when you see how much time you've spent producing this, which is okay, unless you really get bitten by that bug, and you know people that can produce it that much better for for a couple of, well, not a couple of pounds. You're spending, you know where the money's going.
It's £7 or £8 for a decent set of coils.
Yeah.
But do you know what I think? I think when people see is he really selling those coils for £10 a pair? Well, have you ever made one?
It is, it's the time and effort that goes into it, and again, it's the understanding for people that they're not churning these things out. Like
you're not. Do you know where you've heard of proper coils?
Oh, sorry.
Proper coils.
Yes.
From Ireland. Well, John's a friend of mine, and the amount of passion he puts into his coils. Fuck, I buy his coils from him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're always top notch, better than anything I could do. So, and I'm at the stage now where I can't be asked making my own coils, and I'm all right with paying for them. So,
yeah. I think if you were to be reliant upon to do everything yourself, I think it would, as you say, it's nice to have that there. And
you don't get a better feeling than that.
Yeah, it's a sense of achievement, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
You've got the coils that you made and a build that you put in with a liquid that you made for you that is perfect for you. How does that get any better?
Yeah, definitely. No,
that's the perfect place you need to be. You don't need to stay there. Once you've done it,
you've done
it. You can,
you'll probably got the badge.
Yeah, you've got the badge. Then you can use your friends to, you try their stuff, and most of that will probably be just as good.
Well, this is it, and as I say, the more you explore, you come across, and that's one of the beautiful things with some of the buyouts that I do. Some of the coils that I've had come in devices are, they've sent me down completely different avenues.
Rabbit holes.
Yeah, like literally the latest ones. Oh, where did I put them? I put them in my safe place. I've just got to remember where my safe place is.
Safe places, you can never find those safe places.
They came in, and I don't know how these are going to appear on the camera, but I have absolutely no idea. Oh, I just don't think it's going to.
Is that just a staple Clapson?
They are
frame staple,
like a mirror finish. Now they've been. I think
they've been filed,
bedded in for the photo.
There we go. Yeah, I can see it. There you go.
And they're gold in finish. Obviously, you could just have had a bit of heat put through them, but they're just absolutely beautiful. And they came in it was the Trinity RDA with the Trinity Spectrum glass, and
nice.
Wow, I mean, what a just even to hold and look at it was just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I have a thing about glass. That it's probably my glass. I have quite an obsession with glass at the minute, and it's been only probably the last year, actually, probably since I bought this. I didn't buy it. This is one that was sent to me by Steampugs, which is the Glass V2.
Yeah,
I don't remember that, but it's the one with the glass chamber.
I was going to say it's got a glass dome inside, isn't it?
So the thing is with glass, the flavour you get from glass is very different than what you get from metal.
Okay.
When you vape in desserts and creams, it brings out nuances in your liquids that you don't get from metal. You just don't get it. So that sent me down a. I started getting in touch with Trinity and all my Asgards. I've got glass caps on, and then the Torrent, which is a great RDA, totally glass. The Mongrel, you know Deuce's Jack that made the Mongrel RDA. He's another friend of mine, and again, the glass from that, it just brings. Glass is perfect. It's just not practical.
Yeah, I'm a clumsy fucker, and that's the only reason why.
Clumsy fucker.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You know Brent, don't you? Obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, mate.
I was talking to him last week, and it was actually on the QP thingy, the Juggernaut V2.
Yeah.
And I had the bubble glass on it, and I had a band on it, and he's like, "Why have you got a band on that? It's such a waste. It just looks shit." All right, fine. Took it off. Smashed it the next day.
That's why I say I'm on slim glass and I'm filling up every 10 minutes because the fat glass came to an end.
I haven't smashed a tank in 7 or 8 years. The next day he said that, I fucking smashed it. I was like, Brent, you're a dick.
That's one of the reasons why I am so gutted that he is not more easily accessible with his acrylics. Is because
here's his thing. That's his thing, innit? He was laughing because that was acrylic, it wouldn't have.
See, I have the his blotto with. I've got it on the shelf there. And literally, I can whack it against the counter.
No, it won't break.
And it's just like, really? And yeah, that's what I need. But I don't have the one for the.
It was. God. Well, Sofa brought them out. Next mesh. All right, next mesh. Watofo bought them out.
Yeah.
And they bought the next Mesh Pro tank that came out, which is a sub-ohm mesh tank. That had a PCP tank on it.
Okay.
And it was polycarbonate, and it looked like glass. You could not break it. I was like, why is not every single tank on the market made of this stuff? Why not?
I guess
it does not break.
Yeah, I guess it comes that way. It's the same reason why they don't all use the same coils, isn't it?
It comes down to the fact that they want you to buy their glass tanks.
Yeah, that's it. You break it and then either buy a new device or replace the glass.
Exactly.
And there is so much to that, and it's frustrating. Like it was to say, every time a new device comes out, it's got a new coil, and you're like, what? Like your previous one was superb, and now you brought out a new one, and you're not using the same.
So you don't make those coils anymore. Oh, thank you. Now I've got to get a new tank.
Yeah, it is. As you say, there's always way, and that was the funny thing that I found. And you may well have appreciated. You probably did as well. I was never into pods. Never. It was always a bane. I was against them to begin with. Then I kind of understood how they were much better for people coming off cigarettes. But I've just watched people go on this journey from being a sub-ohmer into pod systems and buying all these different pod systems, work their way up and up and up and up. Gradually, they're back where they started, having bought loads of devices in the interim that they no longer use. It's gone full circle.
Yeah, that's what they want you to do. I mean, I think what people miss is that these places are companies. They're companies. They're businesses. They make money from lying to you about what you need.
Well, giving, not expendable, but devices that won't necessarily last you the lifetime that you'd hope.
I think it's the waste side of it that I have against pod systems. There's so much wastage with it.
Oh, massively. I mean, I live in a very small village here in Northern Ireland. Population's probably less than 1,000. And I walked up, probably. I know, they're all cousins and brothers in there. I walked up the road literally 20 metres and there was an IVG pod system smashed on the floor, disposable. And I was just like, seriously? Like, they're here?
Yeah, what do you think is once it's done, it's done. Yeah. It's a piece of waste. I have an issue with. I'm quite the hippie at heart, so I have a problem with plastic.
Yeah,
I don't like plastic because it doesn't degrade, and it's an issue, and we all know it's an issue now. So at this point, where we all know it's an issue, why the fuck did they bring out fucking pod tanks?
Well, this is the thing. It's like you see all the efforts that are going in elsewhere and in other industries to reduce, yet we're currently. Yeah. Massively
making more,
and the lithium batteries going in the bin on a constant basis.
No, I mean, yes, I agree.
Do they not know a child dug that
It's
lithium up from a sweat fire?
But where do you mark it off? Where do you mark it off with the fact that yes, it's got a little battery in it, which is not biodegradable, but you're also saving a person's life who's not going to die of cancer?
I mean, I still, for me, I can't see a solution other than they either exist and cause an absolute mess, or they're banned outright. I can't see a middle ground.
Exactly why, batteries are kind of renewable for at least quite a long time. I've had coils in this. I've just changed them now after 18 months. Yeah. 18 months.
So cotton is your only wastage, and it's not a significant amount of cotton either.
Cotton is absolutely biodegradable. Yeah. Cotton.
No, 100%. And that's to say that's probably the main aspect for me around the disposables and looking at them and looking what's inside them and just knowing that no matter what anybody says,
it's a massive amount of waste.
The majority are going to end up on the floor, let alone in a bin, let alone making their way to recycling for them to then realise, well, they can't do anything with it and chuck it in the bin.
Exactly. It used to be the issue with disposables used to be for me that the kids using them. But until I realised, like I said before, the fact that but kids are going to use something, so I would rather it was that.
And again, as I say, like you said, there is a place for them. The problem is,
there is.
You can't.
That's the parenting, though. I've got small kids myself, so I've got young children, and I would be devastated if I ever found a packet of cigarettes on my young kids.
Yeah.
If I found a disposable vape, I'd be like, it's not great, but all right.
Could be so much worse. I mean, it is literally at the bottom of the pile as far as a rebellious thing.
I would at least educate them.
Yeah.
Rather than, whereas it was cigarettes, I would outright go psycho skits, Dad.
Do you think? Because I had this kind of niggling feeling at some point in the future there is going to be a statistic that comes out and we'll have seen a change in nicotine addicts at varying age categories.
Well, there's a reason that these disposables have very high levels of nicotine, and it's a very obvious reason. We all know why.
Yeah.
It's to keep them addicted, so they keep buying them.
The way that they're branded as well is they're so unclear as to actually how much nicotine.
Well, that's not the kids' fault. That's
definitely no, it's not. It's totally.
It's the manufacturer's fault. They know exactly where the money is, and they will push the. Kids are very vulnerable. They're very easily manipulated. They know that if they cater them even slightly towards kids without breaking the law, more kids will buy them. That's a sign of the vaping industry that isn't to do with us. That's to do with the manufacturers. And I think there's some manufacturers that are ruthless in that. I would put people like Geek Vape, Vupu, those kind of manufacturers. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Know exactly what they're doing.
I've had the
cater towards kids. They'll keep the nicotine high to keep them addicted. It's legal drug dealing.
It's I mean, it's at the end of the day, it is, because it's a drug, and it is something that they can get addicted to, and quite easily, as you say, with the amount of nicotine that's in these things. And I just because I'm quite active on social media and on the likes of TikTok, the amount of people that you see using them, you just don't. It's become a category in its own, almost separate from vaping.
It's cool now. Well, then cigarettes were cool when we were kids.
It's just
if you smoked, you were cool.
It's just the exhale of a cloud.
Marlon Brando with a cigarette. That was cool.
Yeah, and it's not going to go away. And I'm always, I do love a good discussion with people that don't have a clue and educating them on the facts. But at the same time, there's a serious side to it that says, well, actually, we do need to educate people to make them allow them to understand what is actually the truth, as opposed to, I mean, the US propaganda machine is unreal.
Currently, I've stopped 39 people from smoking.
Yeah,
that's my number, and I will always remember the number. I've got some more this year, so my number's now 39. Out of that,
massively.
Even though I've only been around for 10 years, which it seems like, is that it? 39? Yeah, but that's people I've met. That's people I know. I stopped them from smoking.
Yeah.
Probably saved their lives.
And it's like, it may sound stupid, but
it does sound stupid.
We are lifesavers in the respect that we are getting somebody off something that's going to kill them, or it's going to give them something that will then kill them.
More than likely going to kill them.
Yeah, and this is and it still stands, and there is still no, unless you know something that I don't, nobody has ever died from nicotine vaping, and there is nothing scientifically proven damaging from vaping.
You are not going to die from popcorn lung. Stop being a dick.
That's just it's that hilarious.
Whole thing, honestly, that whole thing. Wow. Yeah. I mean, you want to be lied to? Jesus Christ! There was so much more diacetyl in cigarettes than there was in.
That's the thing. I was going to say that is the one line that I would just use now. There's 100 times more diacetyl in a cigarette, and it's like no one's died from popcorn lung from smoking. Yet you're saying that I would have died from popcorn lung from vaping. Do the maths, my friend. Do the maths.
It was a classic case of scaremongering from companies that make money from smoking.
And then they bought Juul.
No, exactly. Well, if you can't beat them, join them. It's exactly what that was.
And it's kind of what they had to do, but it is again it's another massive frustration because that's not what we're about. And now
it's not what we're about. But they also brought out something that was massively addictive, as addictive as cigarettes in a vaping form, to make vaping look bad, except for what they do. And they even changed the rules and the laws to accommodate what they were bringing out, so that everybody else, what they were bringing out, wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, and basically
it was ruthless. It was ruthless
domination off the back of it, and it's
thankfully the UK led the way in advocacy. I'm well known for getting bored shitless with advocacy. I know how important it is. I absolutely massively respect it, love it. Thankfully, we have the best advocacy in the world in the UK, but I can't do politics. It just bores me to the fucking core because I know how corrupt it is, and I hate that shit. I hate it.
It's everywhere.
I've got friends who they advocate with a passion, and I respect them for that. I'm just not one of them. I can't. It annoys me. It just annoys me.
I know my other half was. I think one of the reasons why she took so long to stop smoking was because she didn't want to be a reformed smoker, and she didn't want to be someone that turned around and said, "You should vape. It's so much better for you than smoking." Because she didn't want to be that person. She said, and it's like, well, the alternative is to carry on smoking and destroying yourself. Die. It's up to you. And then, again, as always, afterwards, she's like, oh, I can't believe I didn't do this earlier. And it's like, it's just the way that it is.
My mum, bless her. I lost mum a year and a half ago, and she used to always say the worst smokers are ex-smokers. Ex-smokers are the worst people in the world because they just used to go on and on and on about everything.
I gave up like that, and it was done.
Really? I am one of those people now. I am absolutely. I can't. If you smoke near me, I despise it. If you smoke near my house, I despise it. If you sit in my back garden and smoke, I got married last year, and we had a massive party here because of the pandemic.
Yep.
So we couldn't have the one that we were going to have. We had it here instead. Thankfully, it was amazing. But the next morning when I had to clean the house, I was walking on ash.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I was throwing away plastic cups with cig dimps in. I was like, this is just grim.
Yeah.
Absolutely grim as
fuck. And you must have had that thought as well. This used to be me. Oh, I mean,
exactly
what
that.
the fuck was I doing?
But even at the party itself, and even though I was pissed out my face, and I was talking to some people, I was like, I'm gonna have to go and stand out there because you fucking stink.
So do you not ever get a little whiff of a cigarette from time to time? I don't want to say like that all the time, but like on a random occasion, and you're just like, I don't know whether it just all of a sudden just triggers good memories.
No, it doesn't anymore. I have one weakness with it. It's a strange weakness, and it's I holiday in Turkey a lot, and I don't know if you've been to Turkey. You've been to Turkey?
Yeah, I've been to Turkey.
And in Turkey, even the animals smoke in Turkey, even the pets smoke in Turkey, the fucking houseplants smoke in Turkey. And I'm sitting on a balcony at night watching the sun go down, is the only time ever where I think I could just smoke a cigar right now.
Mm.
And that's the only fucking time. But that's broken me twice.
See, the thing that I put
started me smoking again.
Yes, well, that's the kind of the other possibility off the back of it. But I've always put cigars in a different category than cigarettes.
Not cigarellas, small cigars.
Okay, yeah. Just because cigars for me are
because I really didn't want a cigarette. I think that's what it was. I don't want a cigarette. But I can buy these 10 little cigarellos, and I'll just have one of them. Same thing.
Yeah.
And I'll be sat there on the balcony and I'll start smoking a cigarello. But, oh my God, this is so mad. And next thing I know, I'm smoking for 6 months.
Yeah, no, I know I've definitely got past because I've been in a scenario where I ran out of my vape died on me and there was nothing about, and I was out on the drink and I needed a cigarette, and that was the only option at the time. Well, I say I needed a cigarette. I needed nicotine, and the only option at the time was to smoke. And I got halfway through a cigarette and I had to throw it away because it was.
I didn't get halfway.
Disgusting.
I've been where you are. I've been out and I've run out of battery.
Yeah.
And I've been out and I'm pissed out my face. Mates are there. I was like, "Oh, just give us a cig." And I like 3 blasts. I'm like, no.
Do you know what? I'm going to have to find someone that's vaping right now because this is a problem.
I'm just going to go get a kebab. Fuck it.
I'll take my mind off it.
So no, I'm way past that now. And I've no cravings at all, ever.
So it sounds to me like you are still in love with the industry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I speak to a lot of people, and again, it's like everything. A lot of people just lose the love, and if you're in love with it and you lose the love, then that's a massive shame. And I can't. When I see people that I know are just basically in for the quick buck, and I see them move on, I think there's nothing better. But when you see people that are genuinely in the industry and absolutely love it and everything about it and what they do, and know that they're doing a really good thing for people, yeah, it's a shame when they have to pack up and go.
There's been an influx of it lately, actually, of people giving up.
Yeah, I'd say in the last week. And again, maybe some people are just doing it for drama, but a lot of people have packed up and just put a notice up saying that's me. I'm closing my account. I'm
lost
not.
the heart with it. I don't see that happening with the people that I've got.
No, that's the thing. I think it's the circles that you're in and what you are about. If you are all about getting those free devices to say this is lovely, then you're not going to last, because it's not about that. You're about finding the best of the best and letting people know about the best.
The people I spend most of my time with at the moment are definitely mixers, and they just want to supply the best possible experience.
Yeah.
And it's not. None of them are in it to make money. None of them, not one. There's no money makers in there. It's the thing with the mixing game is everything. I would say professional mixers is that they want to make the best of what they can do.
Yeah.
They want to achieve the maximum of what their skill will allow. And some of them, I've mentioned him a few times now. Nevins used to be a chef. So he's chef trained. He knows his way around food and flavour.
I was going to say he knows his flavours.
And that absolutely shows in his liquids. Really, really a lot. But on the flip side of that, you've got Graham from That Reality, who is just a natural mixer who just knows taste. Even though he's blind to actually something, he's blind to strawberry, weirdly. He can't taste strawberry. He can't taste strawberry liquids. But even the ones that he does do, you're like, oh, that's just
damn it. Yeah.
Well done, mate. Well done.
I was going to say, there's always those people in every single business.
I mean, you get jealous. I'm bog star. I'm right in the middle when it comes to mixing. I know how to mix. I know my way around flavors, but I have nowhere near the knowledge that these guys have about flavors. But thankfully they're my friends, so I can ask them.
But that's it. It's again, it is about who you know, but it's that's the whole thing, and it's one of the things that we always say on the live show is that if we don't know the answer, I can pretty much guarantee you that there'll be somebody that's watching us right now that will be able to answer anything that you want to know.
That's why I have a forum.
Yeah. Totally.
Join the forum. Honestly, forums are the best place to get any kind of knowledge about vaping. That's why I learned it from ELR back in the day. The reason we started the Vaping Community Forum which it even runs on the same format as ELR, is because there's always been an elitism in vaping, and it's the same in mixing as it has been with Max and any aspects, any fashion in vaping. There's always been an elitist aspect to it, and ELR had quite a bad elitist form of people there, and we were just there to have a laugh and take the piss and enjoy the social aspects of it, and it upset the elitists again. So that's why we started our own forum.
Yeah,
where you can speak freely.
That's
Fine.
it.
Do whatever you want, as long as you're not a dick. Just don't be a dick. It's the only rule. Just don't be a dick.
No, that's.
If you're a dick, you'll get kicked out.
It's the only rule that you need, and I say it's
the rule you need in most things in life.
Definitely.
Don't be a dick.
No,
be bad. Don't be a dick.
And have a good time. That's what we're here for.
Have a good time. At the end of the day, you're creating essentially what is a bag of sweets for your lungs. It's not serious. It's never been serious. It's nice that it saves people's lives, but we're past that, and we're just here to enjoy it.
Yeah. No, that's
so. Just enjoy it.
With you on that one. No, and as I say, I still very much do, and I still love finding that new flavour, finding those new coils, finding that new bit of equipment that's just that little bit different.
Yeah, we're all chasing that. We're all chasing that new experience.
It's been a shame. Well, as I say, but I would say definitely, like you said, in the last 2 years, I'd say with the introduction of the pod systems and this whole just big circle to get back to square one again. But I do like seeing, even though as I say, I won't vape on the borrowed devices, but I do love seeing the creativity and the ingenuity of some people when they can just take to a 3D printer and within, like Cherry Pine, Mike Larangero, I think it is.
I don't know Cherry Pie. I know Johnny from Overkill though.
Yeah, John, absolutely.
He's a friend of mine.
Absolutely superb.
What he's doing at the minute is wow.
I mean, he's always had. I remember back in, I think it was Manchester was the first time that I properly met him at the Manchester Expo that Cloud Vape Island Vape put on.
I'm from Manchester, and I didn't even go to the Manchester Expo.
Manchester was one of the best ones that I've been to. I really enjoyed it because it was a smaller scale event with smaller people, and Johnny was there on a stand with Dean, and that was the first time we got properly talking to him. And again, it's all what I'm about. I love people, particularly if they make something in this country, but people that make their own stuff. He's got all the knowledge to answer all of the questions, and his devices are absolutely outrageous. But at the same time, he's got just your beautiful day-to-day runners as well.
It's the thing is with Johnny, apart from the fact that he's a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a properly nice guy. I class him as one of my. I've only been speaking to Johnny for about 6 months, maybe, and but we've become quite good friends. And what he does, he's massively passionate about, not just for making money.
No. Again, he's in it for the love of it, and I've seen him at that point of it's going to end, but then he's bounced back, and not only has he bounced back, I mean, he's bounced back with an absolutely superb offering.
Well, it took it to levels that nobody thought was. Have you seen the Dominatrix?
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing with his products is that, and that's the thing with Overkill, and that's the thing where I know he's kind of not wanted to go too mainstream with the devices that he produces, because it was always about, I mean, it's Overkill. It's supposed to be all about these
but it's one guy.
Crazy devices.
How much you can't flood it. You can't flood the market.
No, you can't.
It's one guy.
Yeah, and but again, the ingenuity behind it is.
Oh, and the shit! Have you seen his new stuff? Whoa!
And he's just got a new. I saw he's got a new printer, but I'm not sure what. He's teased with the images, and I haven't. I meant to message him and say what's
I have inside information.
What is coming?
You keep your eye out on that shit.
Yeah, no, I will do definitely, because
amazing.
There is, I mean, there still is, and I still believe that there is, because we still in this country we don't have the stabwood resin mod manufacturers that you can get in America.
No. But he's getting into it.
Yeah,
and he knows. I've got a fat purse waiting for Johnny. He knows that I'm not a fan of 3D mods, 3D printing mods. I've never been a fan of that. He's got a couple of my lipos at the minute that I'm waiting for him to fix for me, but I'm more into stabwood, those kind of mods.
Yeah.
There are companies out there that are doing really, really nice stuff.
I don't know about you, but I just find, I think it's the BDC, their enclosures are just, for me, a bit big. Now,
size doesn't bother me.
No.
If it's I have my mods that I take that carry on me, the Target 200. Those are the kind of mods that I'll put 5 mods in my bag to go to work.
Yeah.
They'll do me all day.
Yeah.
When I'm at home, it's a desktop mod all day for me. I don't care how big it is. I have big lipo mods. They're big.
Yeah, that's it. You're not carrying it about with you, so it doesn't matter how big it is.
You can't put that in your pocket. Don't be so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Your pants would fall down. It's really heavy, and I don't care about the size. I would own a dominatrix of Overkill. I would own one of those if it wasn't 3D printed.
There is a Dutch company that I saw it. I swear it was almost a foot tall in size, and it was Stabber resin.
So yes,
DNA lipo, and it was just like
fucking gosh though.
I love that. I love. And I don't know if you probably haven't heard of him, but there was a guy called Andreas Sorpidis in Greece, and I just stumbled across one of his mods one day on the internet and got in contact with him. And he showed me some pictures of some of the devices that he created, and he was another person that just created these things just for the love of it, just because he could. And they were absolutely superb. And again, it's just sadly it wasn't sustainable as a business, and he no longer produces. But
it's not a massive market.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But I think there is. It's definitely potential in the future. I think again, dare I say, a flip side to the increase of disposable users may result in an influx of people moving into actual normal everyday vaping, which could allow. But again, it's an awareness thing. It's about, you quite often hear names and you've never heard of them before, and then you look at their stuff, and you're like, wow, if I'd just seen that, I'd have bought one of those. Just really amazing equipment out there, and there is so much that can be done as well.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you say to people, there is literally nothing on the market anywhere that will hit as hard as a lipo. Nothing. Yep. Nothing will hit as hard as a lipo. Johnny knows that. You try telling people that. The only way you can tell people that is by saying, just try this.
Here you go. Yeah. I had, what was it? I had no, Johnny's was a dual 21700, but it came in at the same time. Again, it was another company in England that produced box mods, which I don't believe are doing it anymore. But theirs was a lipo, and as you say, it's frantic power. It is just.
It's just instant. It's the instant thing. I mean, there's an aspect of. I don't want to wait for it. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's instant. And I've got to think about PWM mods, and Johnny's got to think about PWM mods. Even the DNA board is made for PWM for lipo mods. They are, but there's something about a PWM that does something to your liquids that no other thing does. That pulse.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% in agreement. That's why, as I say, we went with PWM on the O2 box mod that we were looking at, because. And actually, that came about off Andreas Zorpidis' mod. He had a PWM set up, and he'd put buttons so you could play around with the PWM, but he said, just don't touch them. They're more there for the look than anything.
You don't need it.
And it is just such that the way that it pulses it just delivers.
It doesn't burn your liquid.
So it just delivers like nothing else.
Constant, and you don't get that from anything else.
No, 100%. No, I'm in agreement. And as I say, like if you get to that point, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. I don't think I'll ever see Jake walking around with a big mod. He's going to pod for his days.
But would he? If he tried one, would he?
Again, I don't think so, because every time I've seen him try any of the bigger devices, he loves it. Don't get me wrong, and he'll tell you it's a better vape, but it'll always be end up back on that pod device.
Some people are just into convenience.
I think there's that element to it. There's got to be more to it, because at the end of the day, if you can appreciate and know, well, actually, this is a better vape, to not want to have that as your everyday.
I think some people are pre-wired to chase the best. think I've definitely always been one of those people. I want to experience the best out of anything I do.
Yeah.
So,
No. Is that right? Yeah, it's true. As I say, you'll have your sit-down device, and it's going to be big, and it's going to be powerful, and it's going to have the most beautiful equipment on it, and that's it's like you say, it's not.
It doesn't get any better than that. It will not get any better than that.
No. Well,
that doesn't mean to say that I can't go to work with a Vaperesso Target 200 and still enjoy the shit.
Yeah, exactly. You still get a very good. And then there's absolutely superb all-day devices out there, but it's still not going to step in.
If I could take this out on the piss with me, I would, but I can't.
No.
Until someone makes a LiPo battery that's this big.
Yeah. It's going to give you 4 hours battery life. I said, well, if I leave it, I might just about do it.
Exactly. It's going to be 14 volts, and you can put it in your pocket.
Yeah. Well, who knows? One day, Mr. Tesla.
One day, maybe. Graphene LiPo batteries aren't far off, but they're still very big. There's talk of LiPo batteries technology that it's kind of scary.
It has to. I mean, it's like everything. It's constantly.
Of course it is, but it's massively expensive.
Yeah.
It's like.
Electricity is the way forwards as far as.
Electricity is fucking expensive these days.
Yeah, well, for me, at the end of this month, it's going to get 30% more expensive, and that's not something to take lightly.
Well, it's 30. You're kind of lucky. I think it's fucking 50 for us.
Yeah.
I was saying after, like when I power this room up, it's like the whole street dims. You know what I mean? It's no laughing matter these days. It's serious business. Is
that a room in your house, or is that are you kind of out in the garage, or?
No, this actually used to be the kids' bedroom.
Ah, okay.
So
they sleep in the shed, and you've got your own vape room.
When I first started doing YouTube, I always said I would never do YouTube. That was my thing when I was a writer. I'm not into all that kind of shit. And then my friends wrote me into a couple of e-liquid mixing shows. So I did a little setup in I got a summer house. It's just a posh way of saying shed with 2 doors and a veranda. And I wired up some internet in there. I made a little space. And I did it in there, and it was cool. But in the winter it was fucking Baltic. So I was doing YouTube shows with a woolly hat and big cuddies, and it's not a jolly story. My mum died a year and a half ago. We lived in her house, and we've got this house now. We bought it, and I moved the kids into her room, and I took this and made it like the best man cave ever.
Yeah. Well, I've got a detached garage from the house, and it was basically when I started doing the show, I started doing it in the house, and you'll know yourself when you're having a few drinks and you're enjoying yourself, the volume tends to go up, and kids are trying to sleep. So I was like, right, do you know what? I'm moving to the garage. So yeah, did the same thing. Got the internet out into the garage, and then I've just basically built a room within my garage.
That's the right way to do it. I did the wrong way. My kids are in the room next door. Occasionally, like in the middle of the night, I'll just come in. Will you shut up?
Yeah. No, see, I'm married to an Irish woman, so she wasn't blunt about it from the off. Out. I'm going. Couldn't move me further away.
My neighbour is my sister. We own both half of the same semi-detached house. So, but even she moaned. I could just hear you until 3 o'clock in the morning when I was in the shed. Summer house.
Yeah. Well, I suppose when you're outside, it's going to travel. Brilliant.
But it's good. My wife does the Saturday shows with me now. She's proven to be quite popular on our site. She's a very attractive woman. So
fair play.
Vapors
Do you know what?
Being vapors, it's
When I started on the Vape show with my niece and her boyfriend, and she was an attractive young female, and that was a significant pull. And you look back at
it's weird how that works, isn't it?
You look back at the viewer numbers, and she wore quite a low top on this one. Yeah. Holy shit, look at the views on that one. Really? Is that what I got to bring in now?
Well, it's your niece. You can't, you're basically a pimp.
And then,
Numbers are numbers.
Funnily enough, actually, when they level off, the numbers are down and they've never gone back up again.
Yeah. Can you come in again next week?
It's sad, but it all is. That's the internet. I mean, it's.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't deny the fact that you just have to look at Instagram to know that tits sell vaping.
Sell everything. I mean, it's.
They fucking do, don't
God.
they? Men are very, very shallow people. They are. And unfortunately, 90% of vapors are men.
Yeah, there's definitely a big element of, I would say, the larger, fuller characters that
you can say it.
love a drink, love women, and well, you know, we all did, and we love to drink, we love women, we love to smoke.
It's very much a caveman attitude of vaping. I think there's a lot of. My wife said this the other day. Said because she's been involved in the vaping thing now for years, like me, and she said there's very much an almost backdated attitude to vape, what sells vaping, and whether you're on YouTube or it's like almost 80s. 70s.
I prefer to call it a simplistic. We're very simple creatures.
It's very simplistic, you know. Snowflakes need not apply.
Oh my God! No.
To the thought process of the majority of the vaping mentality.
Definitely. We had
famous way of putting it.
We had something. We've started going live on Reddit, which is.
Oh my God! Really? Jesus Christ!
Right. So
You're fucking brave.
I know, but that's the beauty of it, because our stream goes out on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and we get the regulars coming in. We get people popping in and popping out, and we're always, like I say, you know, reach at the moment is the real difficulty. We need to reach further afield. We need our viewer numbers to climb, or it's going to end up killing us. And Reddit started doing a live option, and there's dedicated OBS software for that. So I thought, do you know what? Why not? You know, we're in 3 platforms anyway. We may as well we can add that to it at the same time. I just have to run 2 OBSs at the same time, but the computer can handle it. So we did. And we get a lot of random comments coming in, a lot of random people coming in. We get vapors as well, which is great. But we got someone come in yesterday, and they immediately just said hello with something like, oh, this is like a shitty something or other. So our reply back was along, you know, the
right.
same kind of friendly line, and they were not happy to have someone respond back like that to them. They really weren't. It's like,
I'll tell you my experience with Reddit. Okay.
Go for it.
Here's my experience with Reddit, because I own a forum, right, and we have a mixing calculator. If you're in the mixing industry, mixing calculators are godlike statuses to the mixers.
Okay.
They are the be all and end all of mixing. So, how to say this? One of the guys that I run the forum with, he's the brains behind coding and everything else to do with it. He's very much the technical guy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the face on the book. The other guy is kind of technical. Grubby, the guy that does it, he's last word of coding. He makes all of it.
Yeah.
So, and he managed to upset. We had an opportunity to be the best calculator ever. We are already the best calculator ever. But this guy came in. He was well known in America, and he did a picture on one of his recipes of a guy wearing a strap-on dildo. And we are not prudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have many standards, but some of the people that, like, you had Wayne, who was a very well-known mixer, who used to use our calculator commercially, and a few other people used to use it commercially. So it was kind of professional. And Grubby didn't take kindly to this dildo picture. Whatever. It didn't bother me in the slightest, but it bothered him. So he banned this mixer, who happened to be on Reddit. A well-known guy on Reddit, really well-known guy on Reddit. And the fact that he banned him caused a war, and I mean a war, to the point where it closed us down for a week.
Bloody hell.
was that bad. It was horrendous. I tried to do my best in appeasing some of them, and I got through to some of them. But Reddit is not a place where you upset people, because they're awful.
So I suppose I mean you've got to be careful if you do enter. I mean, I don't know whether Reddit.
It's just not what they do. They know people that will hack your fucking site.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When you're in areas where they're more techie,
and they did fuck it over. Jeez. They really fucked it over. I mean, I was because I was a part owner. I had my own at the time. I had an online vaping shop, Steampugs vaping shop, and even that got fucked over because of it. They just went all out, and I mean, it was like mob rule. Jeez. It was scary.
Yeah,
it was a very stressful time for all of us, and it was constant coding, updating, security, and to the they were getting our bank details and shit, and it was like.
Yeah, I was funny enough actually.
Anybody on Reddit ever?
We have
so
we have
why I stayed clear ever since then. And I went in there for like a day.
Yeah.
Caused just to try and appease people. I caused a riot.
Nah, well, I'm not. It's something that we literally.
It's the worst. It's the worst of the internet in the best possible place.
Yeah. We shall.
It's horrible.
We shall approach with caution.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like Reddit is like walking through and getting all the. If you can imagine walking through a cave that's completely covered in petrol with a match, and getting all the information you need, as long as you don't touch the walls.
Yeah, and then it's gone.
No, we stay clear from Reddit.
Yeah. No, as I say, it's. Well, I guess.
But if you do it right, it will reach you to levels that you never thought possible.
Well, I think at the moment, with we'll say current times, it's just something that we're gonna we'll keep going with slightly more cautiously now. But thanks for the warning.
Just don't upset anyone on there.
Yeah, but
don't upset anyone who is anyone.
Yes, yeah, I'm not good with names, and I do find that on Reddit that you get a lot of people that come in and I'm Chocolate Starfish Fairy. Hi, Chocolate Starfish Fairy. Do you have a real name? Yeah, Ben. Yeah, all right. Hi, Ben.
Yes, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. You need to learn who are the big players early on, and you can tell by the amount of followers they've got. Somebody will say something, everyone will jump on it. Those are the kind of people you don't want to upset.
See, when you're on Reddit with the live, you are completely blind. You can see a viewer's name and their comment.
So is this going live on Reddit?
No, this is going to be posted to YouTube. So it will just be on YouTube, and we could put a link over to Reddit. But as I say, it's just the live show that we do Wednesday to Saturday that we do. Kind of like a dual stream, and I have a third eye over on Reddit just to see, because we get, according to the watchers, we get a lot more viewers on Reddit, but they don't comment anywhere near as much as we get with the Facebook and the YouTube.
I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. Yeah. Actually,
well, as I say, it's something that we've started doing. It's been amusing so far. Hopefully, it won't get to the point where someone decides they want to destroy us, but.
Oh, if they decide it, they will do it.
Yeah. Well, it's not. But the thing is, it's nice to have, and we don't get it on Facebook anymore. We used to get people that would just come on because they would see us and they would, just say whatever they wanted to say, and you just don't get that anymore. Whereas on Reddit, you just get absolutely everybody, and people will come in straight away with insults, and the silly comments about popcorn vape and all that sort of stuff, and you're just like, yeah, so I quite enjoy that, and again, we do have again, we're no holds barred. If the subject conversation goes there, it goes there and tends to stay there for a while before we realise maybe go back off the subject of.
It takes a lot of diplomacy to. It's a minefield, Reddit. It's just a minefield.
Yeah.
If you're okay, we were at the time, we were kind of new to it. And we probably shouldn't have gone in there and tried to appease everyone. We should have just ignored it, and we didn't. And we ended up getting into some fights with the wrong people. and it just spurred a war.
Do you reckon you benefited in the end, or was it just?
Oh God, no, Christ no. We do you know what ATF is? All the flavors.
Heard.
All the flavors is the biggest American mixing recipe right now.
Right.
Endorsed by people like Wayne, DIY Die Wayne. Huge mixers. And we had the opportunity to take all their clients, which was
significant.
Massively significant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of this, it didn't happen, and it also at the same time somebody else bought ATF out and brought them all back. So it was a blip.
Mm.
It was a blip in Grubby. He knows he fucked up by that doing that. He knows he did. We could have made it. Doesn't matter because we're never into it for the notoriety.
No.
We could have been the biggest e-liquid mixing calculator in the world.
Could have, should have, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Could have been, should have been, whatever.
Yeah.
We are still the best one. It's just that it harmed us a lot, and it was a mistake. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. We're still what we are.
Exactly. You're still there. It wasn't. We've seen it.
It wasn't. It didn't destroy us, but it was significant in our growth, shall we say?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Well, we hopefully
we learn by it.
Well, that's the thing. You do. You don't be around for the length of time that you've been around without.
No, we still won awards for it. You know, it's no small thing, but we never meant to be big. We just wanted to do. We wanted to make an e-liquid mix calculator that we wanted to use.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
Yeah.
And as far as features go, there really isn't many out there that are as good as ours. So there's none out there as good as ours.
I would definitely say just to see what they're doing. I would say to have a look at Dripper Labs. Not again, they're probably not completely different to what you guys are doing, but it's a completely different offer. But if you haven't heard of them before, it'll definitely be something interesting for you to have a look at on their website and how it's kind of set up and
Dripper House.
Sorry,
what do you call it?
Dripper Labs.
Oh, Dripper Labs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we were surprised. I mean, we've been in the runnings for the Easter Click Awards. We've been in the runnings for the last 5 years, and we always gauged really high. And then last year, Johnny from Easter Click, I know Johnny from Easter Click, and Neil was a friend of mine as well. And we talked about we should have an award for the best e-liquid mixing calculator. This is only last year. There was never one before. Forums, yes, but not straight out mixing calculators. And I spoke to Johnny. I said, do an award for the e-liquid mixing calculator because, it's a big thing. It's a huge thing, and it needs to be awarded for it. And in me asking him to do that, I figured that we were at least the third best in the world behind ELR and ATF. And when he asked, and he agreed to it, and he went with it, and I think we came 7th.
Wow!
And there was like, who are these? 5, 6. Never heard of them.
That's it. You sleep on it, and it's like, oh shit! Look at all of this.
Yeah, it was like, my God.
Yeah.
And it was an eye opener. It was a big eye opener.
No, but again, it's a great thing to know and having that awareness. And as you say, it's a massive world. And
yeah, but do you know what it pointed to? It pointed to ease of use. None of these were mixers.
Yeah.
It wasn't mixers sites. These are people that went online that don't speak to anybody ever and just want a simple thing.
Yeah. No, well, that would be.
There's no community with it.
That would be well, on both notes there.
Convenience.
Dripper Labs has done. Yeah, they've done something like that, but they've also got a very big community element around the whole review process of other people reviewing other people's liquids, how they review it, and the in depth. There is a lot of questions to answer where the actual review is concerned. It's not just something where you go on and leave 5 stars and say no more.
Where did they come, Dripper Labs?
I'm just
intrigued.
Ooh, all right.
They must have known about this.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go to the toilet.
I'm looking now. I'm looking myself. I'm really.
My bladder's about to explode. Back in 2.
I feel like I should know. Excuse me. I don't know if it's just left. Is it left this live? Is it like my show now? Wow. This is interesting. I'm just searching for the Easy Click Awards for the best mixing calculator. Let's see what happened there. We came really shit in this. So, best triple labs, did you say? Best Vape for didn't place any of that. Coils. No. Facebook group, Earducker Mixing Calculator. Where did Dripper Labs come? Oh, it didn't even place. I mean, who's Vape Tool? I know Vampire Vape had one, but Make My Vape? Steam Engine? ELR came first. Mix E-Juice. That was the last one. ATF came below us, by the way, by 4 positions. Let's put that on there. Just saying. I didn't even know Vape had their own calculator. And who was at LitCalc? Never heard of those. Anyway. I'm not sour. Same. I'm hoping he's pressed pause. Otherwise, it's just been me on his show talking absolute crap for about 5 minutes while I go to a piss. Weird thing is, I need a piss and I've got to wait till he comes back, otherwise there'll be nobody here. What about? I call it massively unprofessional. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway. How are you all? I don't know what to say now. A bit weird. Starting uncomfortable. Buy some Serendipity liquid. Amazing. Buy some Black Razor liquids liquid. Best ever. Buy some Nevins Labs liquids. Incredible. And buy some Amatorium liquids. Whoa. So good. And buy some My liquids. Steampugs. You can get them on DIYFlavorchasers.co.uk. Buy some of them. All will suit you well. Let me tell you. If he hasn't pressed pause now, I'm going to be so embarrassed when the show goes on. I'm pretty sure he probably pressed pause about an hour ago. Oh, he's back.
Ooh. I need a fridge behind me.
Don't you? Doesn't everyone?
I used to actually have the sub in-house beer. What is it called?
I'm considering, right? I don't know if you cropped my shit a little bit, but no, wrong way. I'm thinking maybe, right? If I get a pre-gassed keg in my fridge,
yeah,
I could just put a tap on the front.
God, wouldn't that be great?
Well, why is that not possible? That's easy.
I'm sure you could. You just have to make sure that you can fit the right.
Well, you wouldn't need a gas regulator or anything there.
No. Well, having said that, there are, as I say, this is sits on your desk. It was about that wide, about that tall.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're fucking class.
Superb pint.
Really good.
Only problem with that system is once you opened it, you had to finish the 2-litre top. So.
Oh no.
I know. So the thing is, you'd be doing a show and you'd be like, "Oh, I just want another beer." Like, shit, I've got to crack open 2 litres more. Oh well. But yeah, so did end up drinking a lot more.
Too late, it's 4 pints. You don't fucking.
But they've got there's another one now that has a dome on the top and it goes in differently and it doesn't deteriorate, so you don't have to drink the entire container in one sitting. Right. But they're very, very good.
Well, it's your turn to sit on your own for 5 minutes while I go for a piss.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.